All right, so today I'm going to show you how to quickly make hi-hat pattern in Logic Pro using the step sequencer. In my opinion, is the fastest way to go about hi-hats, and usually hi-hats can give you that groove to further finish your song. If you're sort of low on ideas, start with a hi-hat pattern. It may take you to a place that you didn't think it would take you to. So the first thing I like to do is either load in a drum kit, or you can just start off with a sample. So let's just bring in a sample right here. I'm going to drag it into this gray part here. And we're going to go to Drum Machine Designer. Hover over that, it'll load in that sample. And then we can hit this drop down here, Control click, and go to Create Pattern Region. Now this will create a step sequencer pattern so you can easily input your hi-hats. So the first thing we're going to do here is, if you're making trap hip hop music, most of the time it's like a straight hi-hat hit. I know a lot of people are getting tired of hi-hats, but it's kind of a thing. So you just click right here and drag, and it'll give you a quick two-step pattern. What I like to do is change the time signature from 16 to 8s, because in trap, hip hop, it's usually a faster tempo. So let's go to 150. Otherwise, it'll be really fast. I'll show you what I mean. So you kind of get that two-step going. Let me just bring in a clap. All right, just bring in a clap so we understand a bit better. So if we had this at 16, it's fast, right? So we'll just leave it at 8s. All right, so now that you got the basic hi-hat pattern down, we're gonna go ahead and just manipulate this to be a little bit more interesting. So the first thing you can do is, well, before I do that, I'll just explain these two options here. So the first one over here is you can step on and off throughout your sequence. And the second button or tab here is you have different things that you can change to your pattern. You can change the note value, how pitched up or down it is. You can change the note repeat, how many times that will repeat in that step, and so on and so forth. So what we actually are going to start with is the note repeat, and that will give you those repeats rolls that you hear in pretty much every song. So we can start off with like a little 2 top here, and the higher the number, the faster that roll is. So maybe do like this. All right, so if that gets a little bit boring and it's just too repetitive, you can go ahead and change our length of our step sequencer pattern. From 16 steps, we can change it all the way to 64. But in this case, we could just double it up to 32 steps. It'll duplicate that 16-step pattern we just created. So you can see everything is laid out. So here's the 16 half. That's what we just made. And then over here is the new part, exactly the same copied over. And we can just change that up so it's not the same. I mean, you don't have to change it up too much. You can do to taste. Everything's to taste here. Right? Then if we want to take this a step further, we can change our drop down to note and play around with the pitch of the hi-hats, and that really gives you different groove. So we can go like something low. Give us a groove. Just follow that. So now that we got those rolls in, we get some pitch changes in there. We can go ahead and take this a step further and make it sound a little bit less robotic. We can go ahead and click that once again, and we'll go to velocity, and we'll just change it from 100 and just kind of drag our mouse like this. You don't really have to think too much about it. And it'll just give you different velocity. So the hi-hat will hit harder or softer in some spots. The lower number, the hat will hit softer. The higher the number, it'll hit harder. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can play around with the different options in here. These are like the 3 things that really work well for hi-hats in this genre of music, or I guess any genre of music. Some of the other options here may not work for the hi-hat, but you can play with it. And then from there, you can go ahead and just draw out the rest of your track. Sometimes the way the groove of the hi-hat is really can determine how your song is going to turn out. Oh, actually, I do want to show you one more thing. Let's say you don't like to arrange or manipulate your patterns. You want to change up, you want to chop. You don't like to work with it in a pattern sequence. You can control click on that pattern sequence. So control click or right click and go convert to MIDI region. And then that will convert everything we just did in that pattern region over to MIDI if you like to work in MIDI. Arrange from there. If you don't like that section, you could take that out and just chop up like that. Right, and take it from there. So that's just quick ways on how to work with hi-hats in Logic Pro. In my opinion, the step sequencer is the fastest. So you may want to incorporate that into your workflow, or at least try it, see how it works for you. At first, when I moved from MIDI to that, it was kind of weird, but it saves you a lot of time and you can really just pump out patterns a lot quicker with the step sequencer. So I just want to share that with you. If you do have questions, we can go and talk in the comment section below. If you did like this video, remember thumbs up. And as usual, we'll see you all in the next one. Later.